I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows issue number 9. Can Mary Jane expel this symbiote from her life, or will it cost her and her family dearly? Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So, as we join the comic, Mary Jane is taking her daughter to school. She's absolutely hyped right now following her bonding with the symbiote. It's giving her untold amounts of energy, but also causing her to act kinda weird. If you remember in the last video, I likened this symbiote addiction to the suburban mom who tries just a little bit of meth to help her cope and do household chores and stuff. MJ's behavior is getting so out of the ordinary that Peter has gone out of his way to start tailing her to see where she goes. It's funny, in his internal monologue, he wonders if this makes him the bad guy stalking the woman he loves. Oh, Spider-Man, I guess you haven't seen any of your own movies, have you? 'Cause man, you stalk a lot of women in the movies. Venom MJ, or VemJ if you will, ends up breaking up an armored car robbery, but she starts to go way too far with one of the bad guys and almost cracks his head open. Luckily, Pete's able to stop her just in the nick of time, but it's clear she's gone way off the reservation and Peter's gonna have to get to the bottom of what the heck's going on here. Luckily, at the Bugle, Betty Brant, reporter, actually has some important information. Apparently, she was working a story for Jonah about a bunch of sailors who were attacked by a feminine-looking black goo monster. The mustachioed one wants no part of the story, but this is more than enough proof for Peter that Venom has returned. Again, you gotta remember this is still working from the Renew Your Vows continuity of Secret Wars, wherein Peter Parker Spider-Man actually saw Eddie Brock Venom die, and he assumed the symbiote died along with him. With this knowledge, it's only a matter of time before Spider-Man forces a confrontation between himself, the symbiote, and his wife. Mary Jane tries desperately to fight her way out, but the alien symbiote has its claws in her pretty deep. What's really interesting about this battle, though, is that the Venom symbiote very much has a plan of its own interest, and that is it wants revenge on Peter for killing its beloved host, Eddie Brock. I gotta say, it's actually a pretty ballsy move to remind people that that happened back during Secret Wars. In fairness, Peter didn't so much murder Eddie as he refused to save him, but hey, potato potato. The symbiote actually manages to overpower Spider-Man in a huge way, but before it can kill him though, Peter very smartly puts one of the devices that allowed him to share his powers with Mary Jane on the symbiote. This means that Spider-Man is able to lighten his wife's own personal load and also empower her enough to regain control of her own body from the symbiote. And hey, while the day is saved and disaster is reverted, now the hard part begins. That is the heart-to-heart between husband and wife over what the hell just happened. Peter's mad, and rightly so, but he's disarmed when Mary Jane tells him that the only reason she took the experimental suit in the first place was because she hoped that it would, take the pressure off Peter, who had been giving so much of himself to her as of recently, both figuratively and literally with their power share. It all ends on a nice little message about how marriage is a partnership, a 50-50 split, and how, that's how it's supposed to be. Also, how the only reason they were able to defeat Venom in the first place is because they helped each other out. It's as the comic begins to wind down, Spider-Man asks the very sensible question, and that is, who the hell was keeping the Venom symbiote and where did you get it from? The answer for that is Liz Allen, who in classic supervillain fashion shakes her fist and says, I didn't ruin that Parker family marriage this time, but next time I will, not just for myself, but for my evil son Normie too. So that was Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows issue number 9, and overall it was a pretty good two-and-done little story, even if there were a couple logical problems that kept me from really enjoying it. I mean, yeah, this issue does try and fill in a couple holes here and there by saying that the Parker family didn't think they had to worry about a Venom threat because they both assumed Venom was dead and gone. Also, as much as I enjoy Anne Marie Parker as a character, it's nice to know Jerry Conway isn't going to forget to tell stories about Peter and Mary Jane as a married couple independent of their kid. As I mentioned in the video proper, I liked the symbology of the finale. Mary Jane had feared that she put too much pressure on her husband, but it was only when they shared the personal load together were they able to overcome evil. It's definitely a mature sentiment from someone who's been married for a very long time, and I hope we get more issues like that explored in this comic moving forward. Overall, I feel comfortable giving this one a 7. It's good, but not my favorite. So there's another Spider-Man for you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of the other videos I have on offer from my channel. Then you can follow me on social media at Cape Joel, and if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you might want to become a patron. Patrons get exclusive videos and podcasts for as little as $1 a month. It's most appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time.